the most extreme wrestling. Let's take a trip through the WWE universe. First stop, Saturn. Perry Saturn, that is. Trained by Killer Kowalski, Perry Saturn rocketed his way through ECW, WCW, and finally into the WWE universe as a part of the Radicals. And that's Radicals with a Z because it's WWE in 2000, baby! After a year and a half in the WWE, the Radicals began to fall apart for the final time. Chris Benoit was off with the neck surgery, Eddie Guerrero was put into rehabilitation, and Dean Malenko was retiring from in-ring action and transitioning into a backstage role. This was to leave Perry Saturn as a singles competitor. He did have Terry Runnels as a manager, but there wasn't a lot gimmick-wise going on. But that was about to change. In storyline, after several weeks of headshots, Perry Saturn comes out of the trainer's office speaking gibberish.
Bunnies eat radishes so they can have babies. You're welcome.
This does not prevent the WWE in booking him in further competitive matchups. He even competes in hardcore matches where he sustains more head trauma. Yeah, this was a different time. During this time, Perry found a mop, and this fascination with this newfound cleaning utensil led him away from the warm embrace of Terry Runnels. He must have had a thing for blondes. In reality, Perry Saturn hated the mop, but the fans loved it. Some have speculated that Moppy was actually punishment for Perry Saturn dropping jobber Mike Bell on his head during an episode of Jacked. It all happened when Mike Bell was trying to work too fast, ended up dropping Perry on his head first, and Perry started unloading, eventually throwing him out of the ring, where Mike Bell unfortunately landed on his head by accident. Now, Perry took credit for his actions. He admitted that he shouldn't have behaved that way, but throwing him out of the ring was just a way to get some distance during the match. To be honest, if WWE just wanted to bury Perry Saturn, they could have just kept him off of television. But they didn't. They gave him something that people would remember for a long time. Other than the Radicals' debut, Moppy became one of Perry Saturn's most memorable WWE moments. Mainly regulated to SmackDown, Perry Saturn and Moppy were involved in numerous skits. And at the hotel, Moppy was soaking up the party life.
Here's what I would do. I would take a condom, because I believe in safe sex, and I'd put it on the end of Moppy and fuck the girl with Moppy.
Hello, ladies. Is that true?
That's absolutely true.
Yes, even Moppy was getting late on the road. Eventually, Perry Saturn's fascination with Moppy led to him parting ways with Terry Runnels. Now, it was just Perry Saturn and his mop. Everything was going great until Moppy went missing. Perry Saturn was on SmackDown wrestling his close personal friend Raven when, during that match, Moppy went missing. A $100,000 ransom note popped up, and Saturn filed a missing persons report, and 2 FBI agents came to investigate. One suspiciously looking a lot like Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff wouldn't debut for another year. This guy just kind of looked like him. Sadly, Perry Saturn did not have the cash to pay the hefty ransom on Moppy. On September 17, 2001, the time was up. After a match with Sean Stasiak, Raven and Terry Runnels appeared on the Titantron. They had the captor. Moppy was tied defenselessly to a wood post, and it looked as if she was about to go through a wood chipper. Unfortunately, Perry Saturn did not have the money and he could not make it in time. In reality, getting rid of Moppy was actually Perry Saturn's idea. He just hated the thing. The diabolical Raven was more than happy than to give Moppy her final push in WWE, effectively ending the Moppy storyline and leaving Moppy and our collective hearts in a million pieces. Without the Radicals, Terry, or Moppy, Perry Saturn was left in the WWE with his mounting drug issues, his legitimate concussions that he had acquired throughout the years, and in 2002 he left the WWE universe for good. Since then, Perry Saturn has dealt with these drug issues. He was actually living on the streets and at one time survived getting shot twice. These days, Perry Saturn makes the occasional appearance, but still deals with CTE, but is happily married and living with his wife at home. Perry Saturn will be donating his brain to science for further understanding on the CTE condition. His contributions have been paid to the wrestling world here on Earth and will continue to be beyond. Thank you so much for watching. Much love and respect goes out to Perry Saturn. Without him, this video would not have been possible. Next up, I will be sitting down for an exclusive interview with none other than Moppy.